Cooper Mercher here. Well, I found out there's even more to our story from yesterday about Percy. If you didn't check out my story yesterday about Percy the feline, please go to my Facebook page to get caught up. But an incident happened with him and I wanted to tell you about it. Truck driver Paul Robinson, Percy's owner, had pulled into a truck stop for the night after a bout of food poisoning took him off the road. Hoping to sleep it off, he settled in, his furry friend not far away. Robinson and Percy had been constant companions in the truck's cab. They live in the truck and have clocked thousands of miles together after Robinson adopted Percy from a Twin Cities animal rescue. Percy settled right into the trucking life. He's great. He's the calmest, Robinson told NPR News. Robertson even built Percy a platform so that he could ride shotgun and look out the window. The orange cat spent many an afternoon basking in the sun on the dashboard and picking up an internet following. Robertson frequently shared photos of Percy's life on the road on Facebook. When Robertson woke up the next morning at the Ohio truck stop, the passenger window was down and Percy was gone. Oh, this had happened before, typically when there was a bird outside. Percy, through either sheer luck or impressive level of cat ingenuity, would step on the controls and roll his own window down. Panic set in. I didn't know if he'd been gone for 5 minutes or 3 hours, Robertson said. I did the classic parent thing. I grabbed the food bag and went out of the truck, shake, 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 calling, Percy, Percy. No Percy, not a meow, not a peep. Robertson scoured the rest stop, shaking the bushes and traipsing through shrubs. The weather report compounded his fear. A storm was coming, temperatures were dropping. Devastated, Robertson went on Facebook. This day is totally horrible, he wrote. Percy is missing. Within minutes, I got texts from Sweden, from Portland, Oregon, Robertson said. With his photography, he'd built a large community around the country. He loves to photograph, and he was posting pictures always, suddenly people were offering to call all the nearby shelters on his behalf. And one person even showed up to the rest stop to help search for the cat. If there's ever an opera made of this will be the one of the better scenes, Robinson said. Remembering the first night his cat was missing, he'd searched for hours. The sun had gone down. His friend showed up with a searchlight. It starts to rain. It's freezing. We're out there soaking wet, beating in the bushes, calling, Percy! But there was nothing. Absolutely nothing. After a full night of sleep in the truck, Robinson had to move on. I'm a commercial truck driver. I have a truck full of stuff worth thousands of dollars, and I've signed on the dotted line saying that I will have it delivered by such and such a time, he said. I don't have the choice to stay, even if I wanted to. People assured him they would keep looking. They would put out traps. Percy was chipped. He'd done everything he could. I just felt so low, Robertson said, pulling out of the truck stop. He gets choked up even talking about it now. I suddenly felt like I was abandoning my child. Man, it really sucked. On the road, the wind was howling, the rain was unrelenting, and Robertson could think of only Percy, freezing alone at the truck stop. He made his first delivery without Percy at a factory. Then he made his second, to a mining plant in Indiana. Now he'd driven 400 miles without his cat co-pilot. In the mining plant yard, he went to get the paperwork for his next run. I'm feeling as low as a snail's belly, he said. I grabbed the paper, I turned around and I look. I think, there's a stray cat coming out from under my truck. It doesn't remotely register to me. I'm thinking my cat is 400 miles behind me, dying in the snow. Then he looked again. I suddenly recognize him. He just looks up at me with his big eyes like, Dad? Robertson scooped him up. I took him into the truck, and we cuddled and snuggled, and he was rubbing his face on mine. Oh my gosh, what a mess he was. Percy had hidden underneath the cab of Robertson's truck for more than 400 miles through the rain and the snow and 2 deliveries. He reeked of diesel ash. If cats really do have 9 lives, Robertson said, that surely shaved one off Percy. His best guess is that Percy found a space on the top of the transmission, on the frame, or by the fuel tanks. He found a spot, wedged himself in, and clearly wasn't coming out for anything, Robertson said. That night, just after midnight on February 26, he logged back into Facebook. Call off the search. Percy is okay, he wrote. He thanked everyone for their help and signed off. This little orange furry soul means the world to me. Thank you for caring about him too. Cooper Marchie here.